Thank you for joining us this morning as we mark the first official day of mourning for the passing of Queen Elizabeth II in the United Kingdom. We've been hearing from people in the UK, various reporters, people who had worked with the royal staff. We just heard from former Prime Minister Jean Chrétien about his memories of being with Queen Elizabeth II. And this morning we are also joined by former Prime Minister Brian Mulroney, who spent 9 years in office. He is joining us this morning to reflect on his time spent with the monarch. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Anne-Marie.
When you heard the news of the Queen's passing yesterday, what was your reaction? What memory popped into your mind?
Well, really, two kinds of memories, I suppose. The Queen as a delightful person, friend, or acquaintance, friendly acquaintance, I guess I should accurately say. And the Queen as a leader of the Commonwealth and the leader of her realm. Her leadership skills in those areas. So the two of them, there was a kind of like a bifurcated appreciation of her.
I would love for you to share some of your favorite memories of someone you've just described as a friend. I will tell you, Ben has shared the story of coming into his living room and seeing the Queen there. What's your version of that story?
Well, I think he may be referring to the fact that on one occasion she was coming over for a state visit, and we were going to have a small dinner for her on Sunday night at 24 Sussex. And she, through her private secretary, expressed the view that she'd like to have the kids included. And it's a little surprising, but we said fine. So we had a small dinner. I think there was Paul and Jackie Demer and Douglas and Susan Bassett and then the kids. Caroline, I guess, was about 11, and Ben maybe 10, and Mark maybe 7. And they walked in. There was the Queen sitting there. And so we had the equivalent of a family dinner. You wouldn't think so, but we did. And as I said to Mila after, I said, you know, the Queen, she's a lovely person. She said, well, why? And I said, because she paid as much attention and as enthusiastic attention to the kids as she would to the Chancellor of the Exchequer. So it was a lovely evening, and there were many more.
What a great memory. In Ben's version of this story, he says he was very well behaved. I hope that is true, especially.
That is true, Ben. I called him all his life from the day he was born. I called him Nice Ben. I still do, because he was such a nice person.
Still is. I want to ask you about the political side of the Queen. She's a steadfast supporter of your efforts to end apartheid in South Africa, even when others, including Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan, were opposed. What did that mean to you, and what did you observe about how she was able to use her influence without being political?
Well, it really began at the heads of government meeting at the Commonwealth in 1985 in Nassau. As I got off the plane, there was a message from the Queen, would I please come by and see her as soon as possible, which I did. And she then said to me, look, well, she didn't put it this way. Here's what it meant, because, as you say, she was never political. But you'd have to be pretty dumb as a bag of hammers, to miss the body language that went on. She was very subtle, but she was very effective. And so she said, look, there may be a split appearing in the Commonwealth. This would be very, very grave development. We must avoid that. And I would appreciate it if Canada, because it's a G7 country, very wealthy, admired G7 country, and a Commonwealth leader, if you would do everything you could on behalf of Canada to make certain this doesn't happen. And so we did that, and had a major meeting there with growing opposition from Prime Minister Thatcher, as you'll remember. The next item was a meeting at Buckingham Palace, just the 7 of the Commonwealth leaders.
Prime Minister, I hate to interrupt the telling of this story, but we have run out of time. I want to thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.